My name is Satish, and today we're going to talk about UiPath picture-in-picture experimental feature. So as you know, with the release of UiPath Community 20.4 stable release, there are a lot many features out in the market, and one among them is picture-in-pictures. So today we're going to try our hands with this super cool experimental feature published by UiPath to see how exactly it works, what are the things that are available into picture-in-picture, and we'll also look about how we can implement that into our running processes. So let's get started. Before moving ahead, let me tell you one thing. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. There will be no change in the way that you develop your workflow. It simply means you can configure your bot in the same way that you do it now. The change would be only in a way that you debug or you run your code. So inside the studio, you need to enable it before debugging it. So for that, you need to go to your project and then you go to debug ribbon, and there you will find picture in picture toggle. So you need to click on a toggle. When the first time you click on a toggle, it will ask for you to activate the picture in picture on your computer. So the pop-up will ask you for a credentials, and it will also ask you the credential every time if you are using your system with the pin. So that's the current limitations it has. We'll talk about the more limitations and other feature and functionalities in a UiPath, but let's for now you can simply click on yes and you will be asked to enter your credential and then it will be installed. It's a pretty simple, the same way you have installed the extension for the Chrome and others, it will be enabled into your UiPath. Okay, so for trying this feature in a UiPath, what I have done is I have also written a quick workflow to launch a Google, and there I'll type to find the data from the NSE stock exchange about State Bank of India, and then read the search result so that the result will be processed by the UiPath. So I'll show you the example actually by logging into the UiPath console. But before that, let me move to the next slide, and then I'll talk about some of the ways. Okay, so we're gonna see how it's move on a UiPath Studio. And let me tell you, I am using UiPath Studio Pro Community Edition. So if you are using your old edition, you won't be able to do it. You will be not able to see the features of UiPath picture in pictures. So you can verify it by going here and looking that I am using UiPath Studio Pro, which is 2024.1, and it has got a community license. So you need to make sure for experimenting or for trying out this UiPath feature, you need to have latest UiPath community editions, which is 2020.4 plus. All right. So let me quickly open the project that I have quickly built to just showcase how it could be used in a picture-in-picture frame. All right, so let me tell you what exactly I have done. So I have written a simple workflow, which workflow will open a Google Chrome browser, launches a website called Google Finance, and then it types certain keywords to search the data from the Google Finance website. And once the data is available, it will read the data. So if you go here, you will see there is a one build. And before going into this, let me tell you how you will be able to enable the PIP, uh, that is picture in picture experimental. So if you go to the debug and you go to the ribbon, here you will find a picture in picture, and which is experimental. That means UiPath confirms that there are certain bugs, there are certain work that need to be done on this part, and they have enabled only so that they'll receive the feedback from the users to improve this. All right, so once you click here first time, if you don't have enable, it will ask you for your credentials and it will be enabled. Then for me it is already enabled, So that's the reason it's not asking me for the passwords and all those things. Okay, so let me quickly, I have clicked here. So it will now run this particular workflow into the PIP mode. So as I told you earlier, there is a no change in a way that you're going to write your workflow. You will be still writing your workflow in the same way that you used to write, but there will be only change in a way you debug or you run your project. Right. So let me quickly go here and run this file. I'll close this. So to run this from the main, so let me run it from the main. Okay, so you see this, the window has been minimized and there is a window which has launched and it is asking me for the password. So which is nothing but my Windows credential password, and I need to enter to run the mode in the bot in a PIP mode. So once you enter this window will use your credentials to log in into the window. So it's work exactly in the same way that the RDP connections work. So it is nothing but a RDP connection to same machine using same credentials, and then their bot is running. So if you see, the bot has already worked it. Bot has opened the Google Chrome, try to type into some information which is NSE colon SBIN, which is the information of the State Bank of India, right? And then it's try to click on the tab called Google Finance to get the data, and the result will be reported back into a right line statement. That's a pretty simple example. You can use your example. The other thing that I would like to talk here about, what are the controls we have available on this window. So as of now, there are only few controls available. So if you see there, sorry about this recording uh, toolbar. So there are only couple of control available here. So you can see you have a one control which is minimizing, another control is for maximizing. So if you click on maximize it, so it will open in the same way exactly how your RDP connections work. So by looking at this, you'll be able to guess out what technologies are behind and how exactly it's working, right? Anyways, we are not bothered about how they have implemented it. The only thing that is the cool feature here is that you should be able to work on your system meanwhile your robot is doing the task in another frame. So both of you are not disturbing to each other, and that's the beauty of this picture in picture. All right, so we have done a quick demo. What exactly? Okay, so here is a quick list of the limitation that is shared by the UiPath. The first limitation that we know is Chrome and Edge Chromium cannot be open at the same time in a both the session. That is means your main window and the PIP session. The reason being they are using some internal files which are being used by one of the process and they cannot be used multiple times. There is no notification to the user if the process needs some input. So say for example, you are running your attended bot and your attended bot needs certain data need to be input at any given point, but there is a no provision to get the notification so that you know you need to enter your username or password or any other data. You may encounter strange behavior if you try to work with a file in the same time as the robot. So say for example, you are working on Excel sheet and the same Excel sheet is being used upon by the robot, then you might face some challenges. So I have faced this challenge, and in one of the scenarios that file got corrupted. So I'll request you, in case if you working on a same file, do not use at the same time. There are certain scenarios where we have seen the mouse cursor is moved while hovering on PIP preview window. And also the most important is if you are using a pin in order to log into a main window session, whenever you start picture in picture session, it will ask you for the password. But if you are using a window credential to log in into a system, it will not ask you for the password. So for my case, because I have integrated my Outlook account with this Windows, right? So it's asking me to enter the Microsoft password again and again, and it's not using the pin which I used to log in onto my system. Right, so these are pretty cool feature. And another issue that I have got while running the bot into PIP mode is timeout issue. So how fast I am able to input the credential, but sometime it has got the timeout, right? So that's the and there is a no way that I can configure the timeout duration to avoid this. So that's another thing. And the other issue that I have already talked about is asking for the password even after restart, because I use my pin to log into Windows machines, so which is already listed by UiPath. So we'll keep watching this space for updates on a picture-in-picture feature of the UiPath, and we'll see how the UiPath will improve this feature in upcoming releases. But give me your hands, try it out, let me know what you think, or if you found any issues or any challenges while doing it, do let me know. You can able to reach out to me on the our social media channels, which are here. So you can tweet us, you can reach out to our Facebook page, you can reach out to our Instagram. So we are everywhere. And then if you like to write us an email, you can also write us an email about any challenges that you have faced while implementing this. So thanks everyone, thanks for your attention. And with this, I'll say stay connected.